Everyone, welcome. The January 15th meeting of the Baltimore County Planning Board is called to order. I'm Scott Holupka, Chair of the Board. We will now start the meeting with a roll call to account for the members of the board present. When you hear your name, please say aye. Mr. Array? Aye. Mr. Brady?
Aye.
Brophy?
Aye.
Mr. Duval?
Aye.
Ms. German?
Aye.
Mr. Heckman?
Aye.
Mr. Heinel? Mr. Hinton?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Ms. Lilly?
Aye.
Ms. Muneses? Ms. Pinero? Mr. Schulman? And Mr. Tennant is not here yet. Will you all please join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Reminder, board members, please remember to unmute your microphone when you are speaking and then to mute it when you are finished. Ms. Bensley, are there any changes to the tentative agenda as published?
No changes, Mr. Chair.
In the January 8th email, you received draft minutes from the November 20th meeting. Hopefully everyone has had an opportunity to review the draft minutes. Are there any corrections or additions? Not seeing any, I will entertain a motion to accept the minutes as circulated.
Motion.
Second? All those approve?
Aye.
Thank you. First on our agenda, we are honored to have County Executive Kathy Klausmeyer join us today to introduce the Capital Improvement Program process. She'll be describing fiscal parameters, highlighting points of particular interest to the board, and outlining her priorities for the FY 2027-2032 capital budget and program. Let us now welcome the County Executive.
Thank you. It's great to be here. And thank you very, very much for having me. And I'm still a little cold from outside. And I think it's going to be colder tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. So, but anyway, good afternoon, Chairman Holupka. I've been practicing your name all day. And it's a pleasure to see you and the members of the Baltimore County Planning Board today. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you as you kick off your review of the 2027 budget, capital budget. Before we begin, I want to say how honored I am to serve you as the county executive, and thank you for the opportunity to speak with you. Excuse me. I want to say how honored I am. I have been to serve as county executive. Learning more about our communities, learning more about the planning board, and working with our employees has been a real privilege. And I always feel like I'm playing catch up, and every day I learn something new. Together, we continue to invest in our communities, build a more modern and efficient government, retain our AAA bond rating. And I have to say, we will be going to New York in February to do it, to talk to the bond rating agencies in person. So, and deliver a bipartisan common sense budget with no new taxes on our residents. I look forward to building on our progress so we can do even more this year. I want to start by looking at Baltimore County's fiscal year 2026 budget, which funds important initiatives and needed services in every community. Despite challenges at the state and federal levels, we continue to deliver for our communities. Some examples include record funding for our students, schools, and educators with over $350 million to improve schools across the county. And over the past, I guess, few months, we've started construction on 3 new schools. We also are committed to supporting our police and first responders with more than $75 million for new or replacement stations as well as needed equipment. To make sure every resident can enjoy Baltimore County's scenic beauty, we're continuing to invest in new recreation opportunities for everyone to enjoy. Earlier this year, we opened Sparrows Point Park, Baltimore County's first major southeast area park in 2 decades. This park includes a $1 million playground, walking paths, a fishing pier, and a kayak launch. We're also proud to continue delivering resources and programs to support residents of any age. Last year, we delivered almost $8 million to complete replacements at 34 playgrounds across the county. We've also invested $60 million to complete construction of the North County and Jacksonville senior centers so older residents can continue to enjoy everything our county has to offer. Outside of the budget, I introduced Baltimore County Builds to modernize our permitting process and give a boost to our local businesses. We will continue this intensive work on the permitting system so that we can build and strengthen the partnerships that make us successful. As I begin my second and final year as county executive, I look forward to continuing to build on these partnerships. Soon, my administration will begin community town halls, of which you're all invited to attend, to hear directly from our residents and learn about concerns and priorities. I know that the planning board will be speaking with county department heads and leaders from across the county. I look forward to hearing your recommendations so we can make our partnerships even stronger. Thank you once again to Chairman Halupka and all the members of the board for your time and for your energy. On behalf of all our residents, I'm grateful for your willingness to serve, and I truly appreciate your commitment to Baltimore County. And I just would like to say thank you to Director Steve Lafferty for all that he does. So thank you very much, and I look forward to working with any of you. If you have any questions or any kind of things you would like to share with me, please do not hesitate to call my office. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam County Executive.
I don't know if anyone has any questions.
That was going to be, does anyone have any questions at this point? I think we're good. Thank you very much.
And I just would like to introduce you. No, you're pointing to Tucker. Tucker, has everyone met Tucker? No? Tucker, you want to stand up and introduce yourself from my administration?
Sure. Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. I'm Tucker Kavanaugh. I'm the Acting Deputy Administrative Officer for Economic Development and Infrastructure. I know many of you at the dais here, but it's good to see the others. So I've been with the county for a number of years and, excited about this new role. And, like Madam C said, if you have a question or something comes up, please don't hesitate to contact us. And we're looking forward to working with you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ryan Freed. I am the county executive's very special assistant. Very special. Used to work for Councilman Catch for a number of years, and I'm happy to join. So yeah, ditto everything he said.
So thank you. Any other questions?
I think we're good. Thank you very much.
No questions for my very special assistant?
Not at this time, no.
Okay. No, he has been very special. So is Tucker. So thank you all and have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next on our agenda is an introduction of the proposed annual revisions of the basic services map. Mr. Andrew Brown from the Department of Public Works and Transportation is here with us this evening to present the basic services map to the board. Please welcome Mr. Brown.
All right. Good afternoon. My name is Andrew Brown, and I'm an engineer and project manager with the Bureau of Engineering and Construction. And I'm here on behalf of the Department of Public Works and Transportation to introduce the 2026 draft basic services maps for public water, sewer, and transportation. And I only have one page, so it won't be long. The basic services maps are part of the countywide master plan standards and guidelines relative to new development. These maps are updated annually per the county's zoning regulations and include information regarding areas that are deficient in public water, sewer, and transportation. Zoning regulations specify that on or before February 28th of each year, the planning board shall recommend to the county council any proposed annual revisions to the basic services maps. Last year, Bill 2425 was signed and enacted by the Baltimore County Council on May the 28th, which adopted the revised maps for 2025. As you may recall, the deficiencies are defined for each basic service as follows. Deficiency in the water system is determined by a failing fire flow test that measures the residual water pressure at the nearest public fire hydrant. A deficiency in the public sewer system is determined by a lack of capacity to convey sewage flows. And a deficiency in the transportation system is determined by a lack of capacity to provide a standard level of service within arterial and arterial collector intersections. For this year's basic services maps, the water design section reports no deficiencies in the public water system. The sewer design section reports one deficient area, the same that was reported the year prior. And the sewer design section is also eliminating 3 areas of concern. The Bureau of Traffic Engineering and Transportation Planning reports 11 deficient intersections that would control development. Note that these are also the same intersections reported the year prior. We'd like to request a public hearing for the 2026 basic services maps, and during this hearing, we'll present more detailed information on the specific deficiencies and areas of concern. That's all.
Board members, are there any questions for Mr. Brown at this time?
Just a quick question, Mr. Brown, what's the difference between deficient and area of concern?
So deficiency on the sewerage map, a deficiency is something that actually has a capacity limit or some other regulation that is defining it as deficient. An area of concern is largely defined by areas where we've had the sanitary sewer overflow structures. So it's something that we're keeping an eye on, if to put it in that way.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions, comments? If not, I will entertain a motion.
Be it moved that the Baltimore County Planning Board set an in-person public hearing as specified under BCZR Section 4A02.3.E.1 for Thursday, February 5th, 2026 at 5 p.m. for the board to receive comments and concerns from the citizens of Baltimore County on the 2026 basic services maps. Do I have a second?
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you very much. We'll see you in a couple weeks.
Thank you.
Take care. And again, as a reminder, that public hearing will be in person in February. Ms. Bensley will now fill us in on legislation recently passed by the County Council following our last meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Bill 7325, zoning regulations, artisan manufacturing, for the purpose of adding to the Baltimore County zoning regulations, the artisan manufacturing use, defining the use and establishing the purpose, location requirements, bulk regulations, uses, and limitations. Bill 7425, zoning regulations, uses permitted in the BMCCC district, for the purpose of permitting an office, including co-working spaces, with ancillary commercial kitchen in the commercial community core CCC overlay district of the business major BM zone if located within the Overly Rossville commercial revitalization district and generally relating to uses permitted in the BMCCC district. Bill 7525, rental property inspections, authorizations, and enforcement for the purpose of authorizing the code official to enforce provisions of the Baltimore County zoning regulations related to the livability code, authorizing the code official to enter a structure or premises for the purpose of investigating a complaint of or a reasonable belief of a violation for an unauthorized rooming and boarding house, a failure to maintain certain minimum fire safety standards, or an alteration to or discrepancy in the number of bedrooms, providing for a remedy for refusal of entry, and generally relating to rental property inspections and enforcement. Bill 8125, zoning regulations, uses permitted in the business major BM zone, animal boarding places class B, for the purpose of permitting an animal boarding place class B if a property is located in a commercial revitalization district and is zoned within a CCC district, and generally relating to uses permitted in the BM zone and animal boarding places. Bill 9025, zoning regulations, Honey Go area sidewalks, for the purpose of establishing an exception to the requirement that all streets in the Honey Go area have sidewalks, such that sidewalks are not required to connect a single-family development to a public road if a pre-existing hiker-biker pathway connects such a development to a public road, and generally relating to uses in the Honey Go overlay district. Resolution 6125, amending the boundary of the Towson Commercial Revitalization District, a resolution of the Baltimore County Council for the purpose of amending the boundary of the Towson CRD. The County Council has identified an area of land along the eastern side of Delaney Valley Road that is north of Southerly Road, south of Goucher College Drive, east of Delaney Valley Road, and west of Goucher College Drive that has excellent redevelopment potential to be added to the district. The boundary of the Towson CRD is now amended as shown on Exhibit A. And finally, Resolution 6225, approval of FY 25-26 agricultural preservation easement purchases, a resolution of the Baltimore County Council to approve the county's contribution towards the purchase of certain development rights easements on property in accordance with Title II, Subtitle 5, Agriculture Article, Annotated Code of Maryland, and Article 24, Land Preservation of the Baltimore County Code. And that concludes the report.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Before we conclude this part of the meeting, I do want to mention a couple of things. If you haven't already seen it, the County Department of Housing has released its housing needs assessment. I believe we're trying to schedule a time to have someone from the Department of Housing come and make a presentation to us. So if you haven't seen it, it's available online. I would also recommend, if people are interested, the Maryland State Department of Housing and Community Development has released a report showing, again, housing needs assessments throughout the state and recommended number of developments they'd like to see through 2035. Again, I think they're both interesting and presenting somewhat similar numbers to my mind. That the county needs 20 to 30,000 more housing units somewhere in the next 5 to 10 years. So something to think about as we're going through the various plans. This is the conclusion of our agenda. Oh, I'm sorry.
So sorry. I just want to let you guys know that that report by the county DHCD will be presented on February 19th.
Thank you. So, as a reminder, the planning board will hold a CIP subcommittee meeting at 5:30. The meeting will be in this room. Until then, do I have a motion to adjourn the board meeting?
Motion.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Get some refreshments. I'll see you back here shortly.
Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Emily Brophy, and I am the chair of the Planning Board Subcommittee on the Capital Improvement Budget and Program. I would like to acknowledge the committee members present with us this evening. When you hear your name, please say aye. Mr. Array.
Aye.
Mr. Brady.
Aye.
Mr. Duval.
Aye.
Ms. German. Aye. Mr. Halupka.
Aye.
Mr. Heckman.
Aye.
Mr. Heinel. Mr. Hinton.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
Ms. Lilly. Aye. Ms. Muneses. Aye. Ms. Panero. Mr. Schulman. And Mr. Tennant is not here. After the presentation, members of the committee will have the opportunity to ask questions of the presenter. Before we begin the presentation, I want to note that I know there are members of the community in attendance of the meeting tonight. This meeting has not been designed to accept comments from citizens. The Planning Board held a citizen input meeting on October 16th, 2025, which was the opportunity for the board to hear from citizens on their issues concerning the capital improvement program. Now I would like to invite Ms. Lauren Buckler of the Department of Public Works and Transportation to begin her presentation. Welcome, Ms. Buckler.
Thank you. Good evening, Madam Chair and members of the Planning Board. I'm Lauren Buckler. I'm the Director of the Department of Public Works and Transportation. I'm pleased to once again address you in presenting our proposed budget for the upcoming fiscal year. Over the past year, DPWT has continued to make targeted investments in talent, including recruitment of experienced professionals into critical roles at all levels of the department. Through our effort, our Human Resources Department, DPWT, entered this year with an 11.7% vacancy rate. This is down from 15% at this time at last year and from 2 years ago, 19%. So we've made huge strides in filling our vacancies in the department. These additions have strengthened our organizational capacity, expanded subject matter expertise, and positioned the department to respond more effectively to Baltimore County's evolving planning, development, and infrastructure needs. DPWT is approximately 1,000 employees. We do a lot of things that touch everybody in Baltimore County: solid waste, recycling, snow and storm debris, fleet management, pump management, storm drains, transportation services, bridge maintenance. I want to highlight some of the staff that you see up there. We wouldn't be able to do what we do without all of our staff. And our comms department has been doing a great job at doing staff profiles, not only to bolster our recruitment, but to help with our retention efforts and show the public what we actually do day to day. So pictured on the slide, Mr. Cardelli is a concrete inspector with the Bureau of Highways. He's trained more than 300 employees within DPWT. Cujo is a project manager within our Bureau of Engineering and Construction. His positive attitude is infectious. When he's talking about challenges with bridge design, you wouldn't know that it's a challenge because he just smiles through it all. Mr. Booker is the first face you see when you visit Eastern Sanitary Landfill. We get positive referrals on Mr. Booker all the time from citizens that I think just visit the landfill just to see him. Ms. Connors, pictured, deals with our sewer and water billing. She deals with approximately 300,000 bills every year, and she is an expert at working through what the issue is and if there's a billing error and how to fix it. Mr. Catterett is an operations manager within our Bureau of Transportation. He deals with 250 signalized intersections, making sure the timing is right and fixing them when they go off. Our diverse portfolio of responsibilities, DPWT thrives to utilize data-driven, objective decision-making processes. This efficient approach to service Baltimore County provides more positive outcomes for the residents and businesses in the county. Our mission remains clear and unwavering to strengthen Baltimore County through targeted investments in public works and transportation, a commitment to sustainability, exceptional customer service, and the expanded use of data-driven decision-making. In the past year, we've got several noteworthy accomplishments. Within the Bureau of Solid Waste, we've made great strides in our ongoing commitment to environmental stewardship and community well-being. We serve just under 250,000 single-family homes and approximately 88,000 multifamily units with once-a-week trash pickup and once-a-week recycling. In calendar year 2025, we had almost over 600,000 tons of solid waste transferred from the 3 Baltimore County transfer stations. Our MRF, which is our recycling facility, processed 64,000 tons of recyclables and collected $6.2 million in revenue. Our solid waste team makes outreach a vital part of their mission, promoting recycling and sustainability efforts. Last year, we visited close to 50 schools and reached 9,300 students. We also host tours at our recycling facility, the MRF. If you're interested in one, please reach out and we'd be happy to schedule one for the planning board or any other organizations you're a part of. In the last year, we did 27 tours with 441 people attending. We have launched a multifamily housing recycling program This is a data-driven program looking at where we were having challenges in our multifamily units where the recycling was contaminated. So we targeted communities where we were having issues with that contamination rate to do additional education. We put out more decals onto the dumpsters themselves. We handed out bags to really bolster the recycling rates in those communities. We're seeing success. We saw a lot of issues where confusion about which materials and which dumpsters, so we've been able to address that. We're hoping to move that program forward and do even more in 2026. We have also concluded a large-scale grant-funded study of the county's recycling system. The study evaluated each phase of the county system from collection to sale and comprehensive review of the county's only materials processing facility. Our MRF is near the end of its lifespan, so this study looked at options to replace the MRF with a modern higher capacity facility. So you would see that later on in our out years in our capital budget. DPWT has been working with the Maryland Department of the Environment on a new vertical expansion for the Eastern Sanitary Landfill. When the process is complete, the vertical expansion is expected to increase the lifespan of Eastern by at least 7 years. Effort to increase the lifespan of the landfill have included prioritizing county residents, stressing diversion programs, increasing our diversion efforts, including textile recycling and expanding electronics recycling. We've been able to extend the life of the existing landfill from 2027 or 2029 to 2034 or 2038, depending on how much material comes in each year. These accomplishments reflect our commitment to building a sustainable, resilient community. As we move forward, we remain focused on protecting our environment, stewarding our resources, responsibility, and creating the conditions for our communities to thrive. Within the Bureau of Highways, we continue to push our proactive approach to the pavement management system. This is with more than 8,000 roads in our inventory and limited funds to address them. We're always looking for innovative methods for extending the life cycle of our roads. In the last year, we replaced 1,150 linear feet of guardrail, installed 13.2 miles of concrete curbs and gutters. Through the Pavement Management Index System, PMI, we have stressed roads that are lower ranking within the county and an equitable approach to our repaving. Using that, we have paved close to 100 lane miles in the last fiscal year. Based on the PCI data that we know we have about a $400 million backlog in paving that needs to be done to bring all of our roads up to good condition. Additionally, in the last year, we started slurry cracking and sealed 31 miles of road. This is to increase the lifespan of the road to keep good condition roads at good condition longer before they need repaving. We've also updated 192 pedestrian ramps, make them ADA compliant, completed 72 sidewalk applications, and updated the existing streetscapes in Reisterstown and Arbutus. Within our Bureau of Utilities, our sewer infrastructure represents the largest capital investment within the Department of Public Works and Transportation. We maintain more than 3,000 miles of sewer lines located beneath roadways and waterways, as well as 120 pump stations that support our operations. For comparison, Baltimore City only maintains 18 pump stations for sewage operations. The county maintains 120. Baltimore City maintains 1,400 miles of sewer lines. The county maintains 3,000 miles of sewer lines. Pursuant to the 2005 federal consent decree, Baltimore County has invested more than $1.5 billion to modernize the sewer system and eliminate sanitary sewer overflows. We've made significant progress within the Bureau of Utilities that reflects our continued commitment to public safety, environmental stewardship, and fiscal accountability. Through 2025, the Bureau of Utilities Pumping and Treatment Division has demonstrated a proactive, forward-thinking approach to system management. We operate more than 3,000 sewage grinder pumps. These are pumps at individual residents that were installed as part of health projects when the conversion of septic systems onto the sewer system in low-lying areas of the county. We have gone to a proactive approach where we are servicing these on an inspected 3-year cycle for preventative maintenance instead of waiting for calls to come in. Our early results, so we're down 30 to 50% in emergency repairs on these systems. Another critical collaborative effort that we started about a year ago, maybe more than a year ago, was our partnership with the Department of Health. We were having a lot of grease clogs in the Towson area after COVID, a lot of changeovers in the restaurants, the staff there, the management, and it was resulting in grease issues in our systems. So we partnered with health to increase our inspections in 30 high-risk grease generation areas, and it's really reduced our grease buildup in the system in the Towson area, which has been great. So we're continuing that partnership with health. We meet with them monthly to coordinate on areas of concern throughout the county. Health inspects inside the restaurants, and then DPWT deals with the outside issues in the sewer system. Our pipeline maintenance division remains on the front line of system reliability, overseeing emergency response, preventative maintenance, and routine sewer cleaning countywide. In 2025, the division responded to 7,000 service requests, ranging from retrieving items in storm drain inlets. When people drop their cell phone in a storm drain inlet and they can't get down there, they call us to come get it. And sewer breaks and service interruptions. Our construction division continues to manage small to medium scale repairs in both sewer and storm drain systems. During the last year, the division completed 274 sewer repairs and 399 storm drain repairs. That was done internally without outside contractors for those repairs. These efforts are supported by $2.5 million in our capital budget for storm drain improvements. In our Metro division, we have really done an amazing job of getting money in the door and getting our complaints down, which is a big testament to the staff in that division and the work that they've been doing. In the last year, we increased $13 million from the previous year and $27 million from 2 years ago. And this is working to make sure we don't have unbilled water, we don't have water meters that aren't working, we are collecting when we should be, we're working closer with the city on those issues. Through our proactive pre-billing data cleansing, combining with timeliness and accuracy in city readings, we've decreased the number of customer requests in FY25 61%, from 4,500 down to 1,700. We also started a process where we send high consumption letters. We're on about year 3 of high consumption letters in advance when we see that somebody's individual bill is going up by a certain percentage over a certain time. We are down 18% in high consumption letters this year over last year, which means people are taking those seriously. They're making the repairs to their system. They're fixing their running toilets to keep their bills down and reduce our complaint calls and billing issue calls. In the next year, we expect to see a new online portal to manage the city water accounts. Again, Baltimore City bills the water for county customers. They're on an existing portal. We're moving onto the same portal with the city. So we've been working to ensure a seamless transition into the new platform that we expect to go live this fiscal year. Lastly, the Metro employees are assisting with staffing the Regional Water Governance Work Group. This was established by state legislation in 2024. The group is tasked with reviewing the oversight and governance of the entire Baltimore metropolitan water and wastewater system. They held their first meeting January 7th, and the next meeting will be in this room on February 10th. In transportation, safety remains our highest priority. We're making meaningful strides to enhance it through our strategic highway safety plan. The update is complete, and we're working towards the implementation of our Vision Zero plan. These efforts are designed to reduce traffic fatalities and serious injuries by taking a proactive, data-driven approach to identifying and addressing critical safety challenges. With this updated framework, we're focusing on high-risk areas, applying proven safety measures, and fostering collaboration with community stakeholders and transportation agencies. We are taking tangible action to improve condition at key intersection. Following concerns raised at 3 locations, our transportation team evaluated existing conditions, and we ended up being able to install 3 new traffic lights at Perry Hall Boulevard and Buck Schoolhouse, Bird River Road, and Campbell, and Tollgate Road in Dulfield. And all 3 of those are operational at this point. For traffic signals, they have to meet a federal warrant process. It's a fairly rigorous process, so most requests that come in do not meet that standard. Those 3 happen to meet that standard, and we were able to move forward. Within the realm of traffic enhancements, the Honeygo Boulevard Crossroad Roundabout is proceeding. It's at 90% design. That process should be completed by early summer. Land acquisition efforts are continuing, and construction would begin after land acquisition has happened. As an interim safety measure, we installed flexi-post at the intersection to eliminate left-hand turns from the side street. That's what was causing all of the accidents at that intersection. On trail projects, we continue the design work for several key trails in our network, which are identified in our 2023 Bicycle and Pedestrian Master Plan. These efforts aim to promote a greater connectivity and walkability throughout Baltimore County by linking neighborhoods, parks, schools, and transit locations. By expanding and enhancing our trail network, we create a safer, more accessible route for our cyclists and pedestrians, reducing reliance on vehicles and fostering healthier and more vibrant communities. We completed Baltimore County's first ever protected bike lane in Pikesville. This is installed and operational at this point. I can say we've gotten mostly positive feedback on it, but it is an adjustment period for drivers in the area working with the new bike lane. We have also installed some LED technology as a pilot. We have 7 stop sign locations that are LED flashing at 7 intersections, 1 in each district. That was the most challenged intersection in the district. And we're watching that pilot for data to see how that's going, to see if we expand those flashing stop signs. We also have 2 new proposed locations for the rapid rectangular flashing beacons. That's what's out front of this building that you used to cross the street. That was our first installation as a pilot. We have 2 more coming, 1 in front of Oakcrest in Parkville and 1 at Franklin Square Hospital in Rosedale. On the engineering side, we have installed over 3 miles of new sewer main and rehabilitated 33 miles of additional sewer mains. In addition, our team has installed nearly 6 miles of new replacement water lines over the past year. In addition to that, we also review development plans. So we have our internal projects that we're working on and completing, and then we review all the development plans that come through the county that affect county infrastructure. So in the last year, we reviewed 160 different developments and had 80 design projects active at the same time that were internal county projects. In partnership with PAI, Permits, Approvals, and Inspections, this was our 2nd year of a planned 3-year phased increase to the developer's security costs. These are unit costs for public infrastructure items that hadn't been updated since 1999. DPWT and PAI worked closely together to increase these fees over a 3-year period. What was happening is for the bad actors in the development community, when they walked away from a development and hadn't finished infrastructure connections, the county wasn't holding enough in bond money to come in and make those connections. We now are with those increases, and it's just for the bad actors. The good actors get their bonds back and they finish their development correctly, and everybody living there is happy at the end of the day. Our survey department continues with its new program to assist solid waste in monitoring landfill capacity. Drone flights over parts of Eastern Sanitary Landfill were conducted 12 times in 2025 to assess the active cell and the rate at which it's being filled. This helps us refine our projections for remaining capacity and life of the landfill. We have increased our residential flood mitigation grant program. The county's had this program for a while, but we were able to modify the parameters around the program and expand the use. The previous parameters required that you had to have flooding at so many corners of your house, very complicated for residents to figure out and work with. We've simplified that. We had gotten a large volume of complaints for something like nuisance flooding that you can see in this picture. And we were able to award grants now to residents directly. They get 3 bids on a project to reduce flooding around their home, doing green infrastructure or other flood-proofing measures. They do the work, they hire the contractor, they maintain it, but the county assists with the front-end financing of those projects. Our engineering and construction division is proud to highlight one of our projects at Benway Court. This was an eroded outfill. You can see the picture on the left is what it looked like. The outfall had just from storm drain erosion eroded down. It was starting to take in people's yards. We were able to go in and fix that, put in some piping. The project included 2,000 tons of riprap and 10,000 cubic yards of fill. In order to get to what you see on the right, we have now implemented a new program to look at all of our eroded outfalls across the county to develop projects to fix them in a similar manner. Another project of note is the Pikesville 42-inch water main project. The project involves nearly 10,000 linear feet of water main replacement and is located along Green Tree Road in Pikesville. We've met regularly with the community in this area and have recently received positive feedback regarding this coordination, which I wanted to highlight. That's the salute that's up there. They have expressed their happiness that we have established communication vehicle in which they can share their issues and concerns, and they've had the opportunity for their voices to be heard as we were tearing up their community. The final project to highlight is this emergency repair. This required the coordination between multiple divisions within DPWT. The picture on the left, you can see that the slope is starting to erode underneath the road. So we were worried we were going to have a road collapse. Our surveys crew has monitoring systems that they can put, and we can watch the movement of the road to see if it's in danger. They had a hand in this. Highways came out and did emergency riprap placement to stabilize it. And engineering came behind them and did the permanent project that you see on the right-hand side. It was a really great partnership between multiple divisions within DPWT to get something done very quickly and safely. I always like to highlight the positive feedback that we get. People don't always see the work that DPWT does, and it means a lot when they take the time to write an email or call us and let us know that we did a good job. They, in a couple of these cases, are giving us kudos for potholes, fixing uneven sidewalks. Really impressed when we show up. We show up as soon as we know that there is something. There's 8,000 roads across the county. County's very large geographically. I don't drive on every street every day. So if somebody sees something, say something, and we will get out there and get it fixed. We have also drastically increased our communications. Ron is doing an excellent job as our chief of comms, pushing the button on the computer, but he does a lot more than that. He has like quadrupled, doubled, exponentially grown our Facebook followers, which is, it sounds little, but it's really great because we hear so much. I didn't know, nobody told me. And we have so many projects everywhere in the county at all different stages. And no, we don't call every resident in the county. But if we can get that word out to you, to your neighbor, to your cousin, and you see something's coming, that's great. So we're up to 9,000 Facebook followers, which is, not the whole county. We've got 800,000 people in the county, but hopefully those 9,000 people tell a friend, and it helps us get some of this out. We've also developed story maps for certain neighborhoods at this point where we have multiple projects going on, overlapping with each other. And we have developed a new hub site for individual projects to put up better information. Currently, if you go in the county, it's just like a sentence when you go to our project page. So we've developed individual pages. They're almost live. We're waiting on final approvals from OIT. That'll zoom you into a map of where this project is, what stage you're at, pictures, if there's been presentations about it. So we're really trying to move to this century. And then we're also doing a newsletter that goes out not just to our staff, but to the community as well if people have signed up for it. highlighting our projects, highlighting our staff, again, trying to just get the word out before we hear nobody told me. And then in conclusion, our unwavering commitment to building a better Baltimore County is our firm mission and dedication. We remain committed to maintaining the integrity of our infrastructure, ensuring its resilience to evolving challenges. I extend my sincere thanks to you guys for your support of this mission in our continued capital budgets. Happy to take any questions anyone has at this point.
Thank you, Ms. Buckler. And thank you for your enthusiasm on the presentation. We love it. Any questions from the board? Ms. German?
Not a question, just a comment. I was expecting to hear a lot about grinders and pumps and traffic signals and so forth, but you started out with your people and you actually named them by name. Love it.
Thank you. And I do know those people.
It's
I
obvious.
don't know all 1,000 that work for DPWT. I will admit that, but I try to know
Yeah,
as
so
many as I
important.
can know.
Sometimes we forget it.
And we can't do anything without them. I cannot do all the
Exactly.
things. My deputies are both here, Deputy Russell, Deputy Eichholz, and they remind me on a regular basis that I shouldn't be doing it. Why am I doing it? There's 1,000 people. We need to have those 1,000 people do it, and they know way more about it than I know about it.
Thank you. Ms. Meneses?
Yeah, I have a couple questions, but first I want to commend your department on achieving so much on a limited budget and with only 1,000 employees. I mean, that's amazing.
They're pretty great. They do a lot of things.
Well, so my question is, the first one is, what limits the lifespan of the MRF? I would think it would keep going.
Anything with mechanical pieces is going to fail at some point. Your dishwasher is going to fail. Your fridge is going to fail. The MRF is that on steroids. There are so many belts and moving pieces in that building. We replace them as they break, but the other main issue we have is space. So the tipping floor is what we call the space when the recycling truck is all filled, it's gone to everybody's neighborhood, and it shows up and it dumps. And then from there, it gets pushed by equipment onto the conveyor belts to get sorted. If you go visit around the holidays, that tipping floor is a nightmare and it's spilling out of the building. We can't process more than we can bring in at a time. So that floor is constrained. The site that we're at is constrained. So the study that we had done looked at a couple options. It looked at, could we expand where we are? Could we replace where we are? Or do we need another site? So there are options with all of those as to how we move forward. We're not in danger, immediate danger of anything happening. We're processing, we're able to process the load. But we know as we grow as a county, as we try to grow recycling rates, we need to be able to expand how we are processing that.
And my second question is regarding the Eastern Sanitary Landfill. Its lifespan is up to, I think you said
34, 38 right now.
Does that include the vertical expansion?
No, that does not include our vertical expansion, which should get us another 7 years
Okay,
on top of that.
okay.
Thank you. Any other questions? Mr. Heckman?
Yes, I agree. Great presentation. It's amazing how much you guys have accomplished in the past year. But what about the upcoming year? Oh, by the way, thank you for republishing and sending out the trash collection schedules, going back to the actual.
I will tell you that pains me personally because it's just more material that comes back into our recycling facility.
know,
But I
I know.
get it.
I know.
We did it. We ate humble pie in that, and we issued the paper calendars.
But my question is, have you guys, I haven't seen the capital budgets or proposed capital budgets yet. Compared to last year, what are you thinking might be the increase or decrease from last year?
So we're in an off year on budgeting. So we're not anticipating anything new. We're finishing projects that were pre-budgeted.
Gotcha.
So things like the landfill expansion is in there over multi-years with funds dropping in every year. We're in the permitting stages with MDE, but we have so much that drops in each year to keep working through that process.
Yeah.
We have ongoing paving money. We get 22 million every other year. We split it into 2 years. So we got it last year, but we split it to use half of it this year. So it's not new money, but it's this year's money. That makes sense.
So you do not anticipate any drop off in productivity compared to last year then?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
The team does an amazing job because we know we operate on these every other years, of making sure that we space things like paving appropriately. One, because workflow wise to do it all in 1 year, and then what are we all doing the next year? And the other thing is the way the money comes in. So
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board?
Again, a couple of questions. You mentioned in the presentation on the highways, you've got like a $400 million backlog. If I just heard your response to Mr. Heckman right, you've got about $11 million a year for highways. So is that backlog growing?
yes, it's great.
What about in the other divisions? What kind of backlogs, if any, are you facing there?
Highways, I'm going to say, is our worst case with paving. And the reason for that, we did a detailed analysis last year and we testified before the state on this, on highway user revenues. Sorry, I should have silenced. So we get highway user revenues, which is the gas tax from the state. All counties, local municipalities get that. They took a big drop in 2005-ish. So we went back and looked at, had we gotten what pre-2005 rates would have been, which were like 30 to 40 million a year we would get from the state in highway user revenue. It dropped down to be like 1 million a year. And then it started climbing back up and we get like now maybe $10 million a year. But in 2005, we got 40 million. So if we would have continued that rate without escalations, we would have gotten $400 million from the state over the last 10 years that they took a dive on, which equals exactly what our pavement assessment showed that we are now behind in paving and backlog wise for. So I know that's not unique to Baltimore County. I know the issue at the state is they're carving up the same pie further and further and further, and it doesn't stretch further. So I'm sure we'll see more bills on this again. There's been bills the last couple of years to readjust this formula for the local governments. Local government can't charge gas tax. The state charges the gas tax, and then that money's not filtering down to the locals.
And then in the other divisions, not the same kind of backlog issues, sewers, water mains, et cetera?
No, sewer and water, not at all, I'm going to say, because they are funded through Metro. So it's a self-funding system. The rates that we charge our residents are based on a cost of service study, based on what our capital needs are and our operation needs. So that's like a one-for-one budgeted build situation. The only other place where we do have a major backlog, and it's not even it doesn't have a number around it because of the type of system, is our stormwater system. And that's a more complicated conversation because you've got some of that is through the Department of Environmental Protection and Sustainability, and some of that is through DPWT. Other jurisdictions do it different ways in how that is mapped and how that is funded. Baltimore County had the rain tax at one point that we don't have anymore, which led to some of these funding challenges. It's all within general funds now. So those stormwater projects are competing for the same money, building a new school is competing for, or paving is competing for right now, honestly. The storm drain infrastructure in Baltimore County, because we are an older county, a lot of it is built out, not even recorded. Because of the date of it. So trying to come up with a number around that would be very hard, but there is a decent backlog on that. It's just not as known as paving.
And then you mentioned, I know that, the state mandated the new water group. What's the timeline on that?
So that report is due by July of next year. That work group just kicked off. I mentioned last month, it's 14, 15 appointed members. Baltimore County has 3 appointed members on it. Mike Swaggart, who's the chief of Metropolitan District Financing under DPWT, is sitting on that committee. Matt Carpenter, who's the Deputy Director for Budget and Finance, is sitting on that committee. We wanted to make sure we had strong representation from Baltimore County on how the money works. There's a continued emphasis from the city on Baltimore County paying our fair share. The way that the system is set up, the relationship between the city and the county is more like a partnership than a customer owner situation. So the county has always paid based on our flow rates, which is based on our population pretty much. So as we've grown drastically and they've shrunk, they've had less flow, we've had more flow, we pay based on that flow. We do cost of service studies to analyze how much do we need to charge our residents, and then we pay that much into the system. So for example, Patapsco wastewater plant, Baltimore County pays about 60% of everything that happens there because we're 60% of the flow that goes there. And it's not based on what the city decides to bill us. It's based on what the actual expenses are. They bought $1 million worth of chemicals to treat it. We pay 60% of that bill when it comes in. Same thing with capital projects related to the city. We pay based on the amount of volume for our residents going through it. If it's water, how much of our water is going through? If it's sewer, how much of our sewer? So that work group, I'm optimistic that this round, based on the work that was done in the previous one, will get us closer to some positive changes in the governance structure.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Can you unmute your mic, please? Thank you.
Hi.
Notice you said you had 1,000 employees. My question is, do you use outside contractors? And if so, how much of your budget does that take up?
We do, but not as much as I've seen other places. So prior to working for Baltimore County, I worked for the State Department of General Services as the Assistant Secretary for Design and Construction. And prior to that, in the consulting realm, and I consulted for multiple local governments, state governments, federal government. Baltimore County, like within our engineering, for example, if you look at State Highway, if you call them, most of the time you're going to get a consultant that's sitting there being State Highway. I was one of them at one point. Baltimore County engineering, we have about 100 people in engineering and maybe 5 consultants intermixed into that. So our numbers are very low on the technical side, staffing support. We were bringing in temp customer service help during tax season when our utility bills were going out because we had so many calls, but we've gotten those down drastically. So this past year, we didn't even bring in that temp customer service help because we've been able to bring the call volume down with proactive measures. Our pumps division with their proactive measures, I mentioned bringing the grinder pump repairs down. If we can repair it in-house on preventative maintenance schedule versus buying a new system, we do those repairs in-house with staff. We have in-house construction for small and medium-sized repairs, and I gave some numbers on that, how many repairs they do. If it's large, if it's over a certain diameter pipe, we sub that out to contractors. I don't have exact numbers, but I can get back to you on what our volume of subbed out work is, but most of it is in-house compared to other entities that I have worked for in my career.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board?
I'll be remiss, some people. You mentioned some of the trails and bike lanes. You said that Pikesville is the first separated. Are there plans for any more in the county?
Possibly another one in Pikesville. That's the kudos that I put up on the water main project. So we've been working with that community. There was a lot, that's Green Tree, I believe. A lot of complaints on speeding on that road. The road's been narrowed down because it's been under a water main project right now. So we've had a bunch of workshops with that community. We're going out actually in the near future to do another community meeting about it. On do they want to keep it narrowed down and put in more protected bike lanes to keep the road narrowed down and reduce the speeding versus putting it back as it was with the wide shoulders. We also have a complete streets project, which also happens to be in the Pikesville area. We've had a lot of positive support from that community on projects like this. I will say we have some communities, we've got very diverse, Baltimore County is very diverse in what kind of communities we have. Some communities that have not wanted to have this conversation when we've gone out to talk about trails or bike lanes, and that's fine because we have other communities that are very interested in it. So we do have that Complete Streets project, which also would include protected bike lanes in design phase on that side of the county.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, not hearing any. Thank you, Ms. Buckler. We really appreciate it.
Thanks.
Okay. If there are no further comments or questions, we will adjourn. The next meeting of the Planning Board Committee on the Capital Improvement Budget and Program will be Tuesday, January 20th at 5:30 p.m. This meeting will be held virtually, and information for that meeting can be found on the Planning Board's webpage. Thank you for attending tonight, and this meeting is hereby adjourned. Have a great evening.